socket rechargeable LED bulbs. Now, that's a mouthful, right? But think about this. These are bulbs that are going to charge up when the power is on. If the power goes out, they come on, okay? These are going to be great in a pinch. These are LED bulbs. So they're virtually shatterproof, as well as they're going to last you about 40 years. Think about that. This is really going to change the way that you view and look at light bulbs. They also have two modes, soft and daylight. We'll get into this. Lowest price we've seen on this 3-pack, $26.99, or on a flex pay, it is $5 and change for you to get home. Julie Truster is with us, everybody. And Julie, you know, I'm short, so I couldn't see. I'm like, where is she? There you are.
I know, me too.
See you behind there. Julie, great price on these today for a 3-pack, which could conceivably be the last light bulbs you have to buy.
Absolutely. Each one is going to last around 45 years if you use it around 3 hours a day. So they have a long battery life, 50,000 hours. But let me show you this because it's a standard everyday bulb. It fits a standard socket, so you can put it in a lamp, a floor lamp, table lamp, desk lamp, hanging light fixtures, also multi-socket fixtures like a bathroom sconce where you have 2 or 3 in a row. So it's a regular bulb. It's a 60-watt equivalent. You just screw it in, and when it's on, it charges. So it has a backup battery inside of it, so when the power goes out, these will automatically come on, and each bulb has 6 hours of life to it. And then again, you turn it back on, and it recharges itself over and over again. It comes with one of these power caps, so when you turn this on, let's say you lose power, it turns this into a portable flashlight. So, and one bulb lights up an entire room, so you think about what would be in a lamp. So this will light your path. And then the other thing, if we could dim the lights, I want to show you something because it has a little switch on it. So instead of choosing, do I want 3 in daylight or 3 in soft? Because you go into that, you know, big box store and there's so many lights and all these different colors. Watch this. With one bulb, it turns it from this is daylight to soft. With one bulb, again, you don't have to buy 2 separate ones. That's daylight, the bright white. Maybe you want it bathroom, kitchen, and soft, maybe at night, maybe in the bedroom, maybe in the living room, at the front of your house. So again, you can switch it back and forth with one bulb. So let me show you what we're talking about. Use it every single day. You use this bulb every single day. Now over here, we've got the Living Glow in the multi-sockets. I know I'm short. There's the Living Glow. And this is a regular bulb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the power. Okay, so watch these. 1, 2, 3. Power goes out in your regular bulb. The Living Glow comes on. I'm going to do it again because if you blink, you miss it.
Don't miss this, guys. Pay attention. All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Power goes out. The Living Glow comes on. So just to make this clear, this right here has no power to it. So there's no power, but what that means is this bulb has 6 hours, this bulb has 6 hours, and this bulb has 6 hours. If you want to, you can take it out and put that power cap on, and then it turns into a flashlight. They are cool to the touch. They're shatter resistant. Let me show you this. Shatter resistant, and then you're getting one of these. So if you do lose power, you can unscrew it from your, let's say your bedside table lamp, and you can walk around and look at this one bulb. It's a 60-watt equivalent, so it lights up an entire room. This can be your portable flashlight. Because a lot of times when you lose power, you have to check on the kids or the breaker box.
Oh, definitely. This would have been great like about a weekend or last weekend at my, you know, even around here, there were so many storms that we lost power. I was like, oh, it's just like we have in Florida. It's everywhere in the country now. This is happening. You want to be able to, you know, insulate yourself from that. Now, you heard Julie talk about what you get. We'll go over it again. Here is what you're getting. You are getting the 3 bulbs, and you are also getting this piece, what we're calling this, Julie?
Power cap.
The power cap. So that is what you're getting in the set. So you heard her talking to it. I just want to show you again here. 3 light bulbs and the power cap. The power cap you can use on any of them. Some people like to just use that little hook, if you see here, that comes with it, and hook it inside the lamp so that way they know where it is so that you're not losing it. So the hook is right here just in case. So if you guys want to see what that looks like, you can just hook it on inside of the lamp, and then from there you always know where it is, so you don't have to worry about, you know, having to look for it, having to go find it, right? It's super easy. There we go. So there's that little hook there. But that way you're not trying to dig for it or look for it when the power does go out. And that's the thing, the power will go out, right, Julie? That's what we see. So at HSN, many of our producers and everyone had switched over. Many of you had heard of Jared over the years. He switched every single bulb in his house.
Yes.
I just actually got these for my sister here because that was the first time her power went out 2 weeks ago, Julie. But, you know, she has 2 kids, right?
Yes.
We don't want that to happen where you can't find anything. Now you can't, you don't know where you're going. Maybe you don't have your phone right in front of you. This goes back on. Now you know where you're going, you know what's going on, and then you can take the light with you.
Exactly. And one thing about when you lose power, especially if you live by yourself, it can be really scary.
Yeah.
I know my mom lives by herself. She's in Kansas. When she loses power and it's during tornado season, she has to go down to the basement.
Oh.
And it's, okay, first of all, it's so dark down there. It's dark down the staircase. So I got her all set up with the bulbs here.
Yeah.
And then she can take that portable flashlight and walk down to the basement. So you're never, ever in the dark. These are automatic. So one thing about these is you don't, when you get them home, don't put them in your emergency kit. These are the bulbs you're going to use every single day. And when they're on, when you're using it every single day, they're charging. So then when you lose power, like over here, there's no power to this, they automatically come on. If you have them in your bedside table lamps and it's 3 a.m., they don't just come on. You would just go over and flip your switch. It's like a regular, like this. They're a regular bulb. So if it's at night and you lose power, you would just lean over, do this. And then what Su Ming was saying is this little hook, here's just a little tip. Because if you want to put them by your bedside table, that's a great place to put them because typically you're asleep when you lose power. You can hang it, you know the little wires up in here? You can hang this up there. So when you lose power, you've got this. You can unscrew your bulb if you want to make it, turn it into a flashlight, and then you can walk around. Remember that each bulb has that little switch on it so you can switch it from daylight to soft. You don't have to buy 2 sets.
Exactly. So I want to make sure everyone understands that, Julie, because have we had sets that you choose? Yes, but you don't have to choose here. So you're basically getting 2 in 1 because you get the soft and the daylight. You get to customize how you would like it in your home. Maybe one day you want to have it on the bright light. Maybe you want a little bit of soft light, a little bit romantic light, right? It's up to you. You get the 3 bulbs. Remember, this is the lowest price we've seen for this 3-pack for bulbs that basically are going to last you 40 to 45 years probably.
Exactly. Each bulb is rated for 50,000 hours. So if you have it on in a lamp or wherever you put it for 3 hours a day, it's going to last around 45 years per bulb. They're also extremely energy efficient. So if you use them in your 3 hours a day, it's around $1 a year per bulb. So they're really inexpensive. And assuming Jared, he took out every single bulb in his house and he replaced it with this exact Living Glow bulb because he said, I needed bulbs anyway. Why not make it energy efficient and why not have the battery backup?
Right.
So let me show you again what we're talking about with battery backup.
Okay, everyone pay attention and take a look here because you'll miss it.
I'm going to turn this on. This is a regular bulb, and these are Living Glow. Okay, and I'm going to count to 3 and cut the power off.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Power goes out here. Living Glow will automatically come on because the bulbs were on. I'm going to do it again.
All right, pay
The lamp,
attention.
right here. Everything's on. It's in the house. Lightning strikes. 1, 2, 3. Power goes out. Your lights come on. And they blink so quick. My mom lost power. And the lights came back on so quick, she didn't realize she lost power. She thought her TV blew out.
Oh, because the lights never, but that's the thing, right? That's what you want. You want to make sure that you're being proactive when you think about these things. It's inevitable that you will have a power outage. Something will happen, but how prepared are you? These are light bulbs, right? We're buying light bulbs all the time. How much are you spending on them, right? Now you can spend just a little bit of money and invest to make sure that you have that safety precaution when in fact you have what happens? The power going out.
Yeah.
It could be lightning. It could be a storm. It could be just a breaker breaking. Could be a tree falling out. You never know, but you know you have to prepare.
Yes, exactly. And I know in the summer, it's maybe the summer storms, maybe it's a blackout or a brownout, maybe it's tornado season. Right now, we always launch these in the month of June, usually June 1st, because it's the launch of hurricane season.
Oh, true.
I don't have to even tell you, but I can tell you that these sell out during hurricane season when a hurricane is coming because everyone wants these bulbs. Also, all my friends and family call me right before the hurricane hits and they say, what are those bulbs you were talking about? So just to show you again, we have no power to this right here. You're gonna get, this is automatically, okay, so there's no power to this entire thing. They do fit a multi-socket fixture and also a lamp. So 6 hours of light, 6 hours of light, and 6 hours of light with no power. If you wanna conserve that power, you can turn it on and off, like your lamp. If it's at your bedside table and you're like, oh gosh, I only want this for an hour because we're gonna be out of power for a long time, just turn it off. Or you can put it in the power cap. They work like a regular bulb. It's a 60-watt equivalent, so it's a standard bulb. And then it fits a standard socket. They are warm to the touch, not cool to the touch.
But not hot.
They're not hot. They're not like those old glass bulbs. And they're also shatter resistant. You just screw them in and you're ready to go. So the number one question, people say, well, how do I charge it? Right now in this lamp, it's charging. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to take it out and, you know, plug it in. The battery's inside, and when it's on, it's charging. That's it. And it's fully charged in 10 hours. And you know, LEDs, once they're charged, they stay charged.
Yeah.
So then when you do have an outage, again, this right here, there's no power, but these come on. 6 hours of light, 6 hours of light, and 6 hours of light with each one.
Now think about that in your home, because you won't have to have them all on at the same time. But if you switch all of your bulbs, you can almost kind of then divvy out where you're putting the light, how long you're keeping it on, right? Kind of ration the light, if you will. So I want you to ask yourself right now, are you prepared for an outage? Were you prepared when the outage happened a couple weeks ago, depending on where you are in the country? If it hasn't happened, it will. This summer, it's almost a guarantee that something will happen. You need to control how you prepare. Control the controllables. This is one thing you can do. You can get these home for $5 and change. Switch them out. Remember, we've sold over 4.5 million, I think, Julie, since you started, right? Oh, yeah, since they launched in 2019, 4.5 million sold. That is a lot of light bulbs, but this has saved so many people, right? If you think about your mom, we think about people like Jared, us. Everyone is being affected by, in some way, by weather. Something happens. This is what you can do to make sure that you are proactive about keeping yourself safe.
Right. And the great thing, they're normal every standard day LED bulbs. And if you went out and just, you know, you go to the big box store and you look at that whole aisle of lights, they're expensive.
Yeah.
So these, you use them every single day. They look like a regular bulb. The light that comes out is a regular. It looks just like a regular LED bulb. You can't tell the difference, but it has that battery inside. It has that special feature. So when you lose power, you have light for 6 hours and then you just recharge them over and over again. So you can see it looks like a standard bulb. And then that little switch on it, this is what turns it from daylight. This is daylight, that bright white. And people are really picky about their color. Yeah. The color that they like. This is daylight and that's soft.
And you're getting both.
And you're getting both with one bulb. That's a newer feature. Also another feature is the fact that they work in both lamps and your multi-sockets. And let me tell you, when you lose power in the middle of the night, you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
you want to have your light in your bathroom because then you turn it on. You're not walking around, you know, with your flashlight.
Right, or you can't find your flashlight, so you're not walking around.
Right,
you can't
feel
see.
in the walls.
Guys, 856-706 is your item number. Lowest price we've seen for the 3-pack. Remember, this is multi-socket. You get 2 of the lights. 2 of the different variations in the light. Soft or white light, $5 and change gets it home for you. Make sure you're being proactive about keeping yourself safe when, in fact, you do have that power outage. Julie Chester, thank you for hanging out this morning, my dear. It's always good to see you. I did look at the shoes. I was like, are you wearing our shoes?
Not today.
Not to me either, but I was yesterday. we get the same shoes. She tells me all the good deals. Okay, guys, we're going to be right back, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Let's chat about getting some of the best deals on the things you